Okay. So so basically, this here is just an example of what a school can look like. And I'll just show you a couple more examples. Like this is a school that's using Hubly. It's a alternative high school, and they've actually they're using a custom URL, and they've got all their main regular content. We migrated everything from their old site. We brought all that content over. And then there's this login area where parents go, the ones that are current families, they go back there and they can join the groups. And I'll just jump through some of the main features here. Like we have social groups. You can set up like different room. Each group can be a room. And I'll just jump into the first group here at PTA. Obviously, you probably don't have a PTA, but this could be a room.
But we do have a parent group. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. So they can have their own group, or this could be a class. So let's say your room teacher is the one that manages this group. So, oops, I hit the wrong link there. But let's say she wants to send a message to the parents. She can just post it in here, and that update will go out to the parents. And if she clicks this here, send SMS, it'll also be sent as a text message to the parents as well.
Yeah, that's totally what we're looking at. So right now we have separate website, separate email, and then separate, there's an app called Dojo that they use from mobile to mobile. So it would be so fantastic to have it in one spot.
Yeah, so that's really the whole point, by the way, is that what the main problem Hubly comes to solve. This is why we call it Hubly. It's a hub. So what we found is that schools are using upwards of 20 or sometimes literally 30 different communication tools or
there's
information
posters,
systems.
There's flyers, there's notes that go home, there's all kinds of things, right?
Well, there's all that paper, but there's also like a bunch of different communication. Now, each one of these communication tools has its own database that needs to be managed and updated. That alone can take hours out of people's days. Right. It's crazy, right? So what Hubly does is it gives you one database that's super easy to manage. The parents can even update. They have their own profile, just like on Facebook. They can update all their information. They get a new email address, they can update it. They get a new phone, they can update it. They move, they can update it themselves. So, and what happens is when it's updated in that one place, it's automatically updated for all your other communication tools. So, all your groups, right? So, meaning if it gets posted here, right? So Naomi is a teacher. She posted, hey, remember today's a field trip. They need to wear hats. And then one of the parents commented and said, do the kids need to bring lunch? So this is like kind of basic Facebook-like communication. And I just want to also preface all of this with you have complete control over all of these features. You can turn these off. You can turn them on. You can say, for this group, these parents can comment. For this group, it's only teachers that can post things. So it's you always have absolute control over who can do what on this site, just so you know. And then you can also share. So first of all, that's just simple posting and communication. So you don't need to send an email. You don't need a separate text messaging app or anything like that. And by the way, this is totally mobile. Your site is completely mobile. It turns into a mobile app. So it works on all devices. You can see how the menu becomes icons. It's like fully mobile here. That's everything is designed mobile first. Now, if you go into another feature we have is like Google. It's just like Google Docs. So you can create documents here inside the group. This has 1,000 different implementations. But if you want to, so this is like a document we're creating, and you can, make it look however you want. And really easy to format. And this is the same type of editing and format content management you'll see on every feature of the site. Really easy to use. You can add, you can attach files. You can control who can read it, who can't, and all this stuff. You have always full control over everything. And what's really cool is that we have digital forms, right? So inside of these documents, you can create a digital form, and for anything. But let's say it's a field trip. So this is one of our digital forms. So I'm going to fill in a field trip for my daughter's class. Right? I could be filling this out on, let's say I just dropped my daughter off and the field trip's about to leave, and I forgot to fill out the form. So I can just pull my car over. I can do this on my iPhone in 2 seconds. And I can do a digital signature with my finger on the phone or trackpad or whatever, and I can pay for the field trip right there. We connect your Hubly site to PayPal or Authorize.net or Stripe, anything that you want to use to collect money or take billing or anything. So super easy, and it reports back to the site. So, and I'll show you the dashboard in a second where all this information comes in. But basically, any form that's filled out, it gets organized for you into a spreadsheet format, which you can search through things and look things up in seconds rather than thumbing through paper and all that stuff for hours. So I'm just going to submit this, and I'll show you where that goes afterwards. So those are digital forms. Well, that's both our documents, our group docs and forms. Also, each group has its own calendar. So, this is kind of a mashup of like Facebook and Google Apps and, 20 other things like SurveyMonkey and Schedule, Sign Up Wizard, you name it. If a school is using it, right, basically we've been surveying thousands of schools. We've been talking to thousands of schools. We have lots of customers. We know everything that schools use. We've kind of we've grabbed all the important features from everything that we see schools using and brought them into one place. And what it does is it ends up saving you hours every day. That's the point. You can focus more on the more meaningful stuff and less on the chasing people around for forms and information. And that's the ultimate point. So you can have a better school, and that just means happier families, easier time getting new families. Your current families will be super happy, and they'll recommend you to their all that stuff. So that's part of the forms. Okay, the last feature is just media. So inside the groups here, you can just really engage in content. Anything you can do on Facebook, really. Just like parents can rate the pictures. You can turn this off. Okay, you can turn all this stuff off if you don't want it, and you can, per group, you can say this group has media, this group doesn't. But this is stuff that parents love. The commenting and seeing what's going on a field trip or whatever. And it's all private and it's safe and secure and so we built everything with understanding how schools need things to be organized and controlled. So so those are the groups. I'll show you a couple more forms. Let's say you've got a parent packet, like your enrollment form, right? So instead of having like a stack of paper with 10 different forms, like our current schools send out like these packages of paper, right?
Probably like 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right, yeah, I can't wait to see you. I'm sorry, go ahead, Jonah.
No problem. So I'm just filling out this form real quickly. But, this is like a combination of like, 5 different forms in one. It gives us in the status bar, and they're filling it out, and, parents are signing up for different committees. I'll fill this out quickly, and I know we're short on time right now, so I want to try to get to the main parts.
Okay.
Let's say this, like the photo release permission, I'm going to say, no, you can't use my child. Yes, you can. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to show you why this is interesting in a second. I'm going to submit the form. Some other things. You can do anything with forms. Let's say you want to run a poll. So you want to vote on the next meeting. So I'll just add my name. And I'm going to say, what, Wednesday and Thursday I can do, the other ones I can't. So this could be a poll for anything. I just made it a meeting poll. And you get the results right there.
Yeah, it's really cool. The thing that appeals to me so much, there's lots of appeal, certainly, but one of the challenges that we have is that we try to reach families by email, and, we're thrilled that our community is a broad spectrum of socio and economic backgrounds, but we have a lot of families that don't use email ever.
Sure.
Sometimes they miss important information, and we try to, double it up with paper newsletters, and also now we have the dojo, but formal school information so far have not come through apps, our mobile app. But I think this is such a nice leveling way to reach all families, and this with the same efficiency. Everybody feels part of our community.
Yeah, well, I'd like to just take that and put that quote on my website. That was a great way of summing it up. That's it. That's really the point.
Well, you're more than welcome. It's recorded. You can pull out anything you like. I'm happy.
Thank you.
To help you out. So since our time is limited today, I'd be more than happy to speak with you again next Tuesday. I'm wondering how your company, I've read a little about you. You're out of Toronto, perhaps. Is that true?
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I wonder how your startup, and congratulations on that. It seems really cool and family run. That's so nice. How does your school management system compare to others that are super popular here in a quick Google search, like Quick Schools and Zoho and Capterra? And it seems there's a lot out there.
Yeah, well, you know, I could probably send you references. I could send you references to our customers that have done already done the diligence of going through all those, and I'll just tell you what they tell me. You know, they just don't like how they look and how they work. I mean, that's one thing, and number two is that we do more. And my general explanation of all this is that what I see in the industry is that everybody is copying each other, and they're copying products that are 30 years old. That were, you know, school management systems that were built before people used email, literally. And then those type of communication tools that got patched on the side. Hubly is built like we've been building Hubly for years, actually. I mean, for about 4 years. We had some prototypes out, and we've kind of redeveloped it, and we've really hit the sweet spot now. Hubly is in its current, essence, or current sort of, it's now a year old in its current iteration, and this is like the one that's working. They've all worked, but you know, we've just learned, and it's really hit its stride. And the main, I would say the main element is that we ignored what everyone else was doing, and we just talked to you. We talked to people just like you, and we said, what drives you crazy? Where are your pain points? And we built it based on that. And so the people that are managing schools see it, and they're just like, yes. And so, you know, we have customers leaving RenWeb, who's like the most widely adopted school management system in private school world. We have customers leaving them and coming to us because we have literally flipped the prioritization of features upside down because we believe it's communication first, and the way technology works today, that makes a lot more sense than the way RenWeb does it, or other like Quick Schools is like literally it has about a quarter of the features of Hubly, and essentially it's just a copy of RenWeb. And it's, you know, I don't mean to knock anybody. Like, those features are important. We just deliver them, we believe, in a better way for schools today. And for parents today, and where schools really spend the time with all the busy work, that's what we knock out. We knock out hours of senseless busy work, and we do it in a way that is really easy, and we also offer it as a service. So I like it so much because we aspire to be an innovative and international community. There's a nano scale college that is expanding by leaps and bounds, and a nano chip factory that was opened a few years ago. And so, you know, to offer families, you know, modern sorts of approaches instead of please write your check and stick it in this envelope at the sign-in sheet at the door. Right.
You know?
Right.
Families are looking for something that proves that our school is, you know, modern and cutting edge and worth their tuition. And I think that paired with the easy access and everything integrated into a workable website is so important to us, because 90% of our families have found us via Google search. So,
so I'm
very interested in talking to you some more.
Okay, I think that really sums up why we're such a hit with like Montessori's, because it's a progressive community, and the parents, right, and Montessori schools understand that their parents want that generally, right? They're younger, they're more progressive, and they want, you know, things to be even just more green. Like, you know, why use all that paper? Like, that's crazy. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, it not only does it cost you a lot of money, it's horrible for the environment, and it's just like it doesn't just cost you money, because it is. You have to buy it, you have to print it, you have to send it out. That's all money, but it's also hours of time. Like, let me just show you one thing. This is where you're going to save the most of your time. Now, with 14 kids, this isn't a whole lot of time, but as you grow, as you grow and we help you grow, you're going to see that this is like your dashboard. Okay, this is, you know, you've got all your statistics. You can see, you know, what pages are getting the most traffic, and this is it's very hard for me to like not get off track here, but there's so many things I want to show you. But I'm just going to go to the forms for a second here. So this is like your digital filing cabinet, okay? Total paper replacement. You can keep paper if you want to, but you really don't need to. I'm just going to go into the parent packet that I just filled out, okay? So here's that form. I'm going to go look at the entries, and I'm going to, so this is like me opening up sort of the filing cabinet. This is, as the forms get filled out, it gets organized into a spreadsheet for you. This is just me filling it out randomly a number of times during demos, but if you want to like adjust the columns, you can just drag and drop new columns, like, oh, I don't need the parent's to last name, you can just drag it out, you know, that type of thing. You can click any of these columns to sort. Let's say you want to sort by entry date. So as forms are submitted, they're automatically, you know, date and time stamped. You can now also add other kind of date fields, but if you want to look at one, I want to view this form, I can click on it, and then, again, this works everywhere. So I can print this off. If you need to print off a form for some state requirements or something, you can do that. You can print them all off at the same time. You can export them all into Excel. But let me show you where you really save the most time.
All right, I'll let you show me one more thing, but I really have to go.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. So just to go back into the parent packet, here, entries. Let's say I want to know all the kids that I'm allowed to use on the website. So this form had that as a question, right? So I can just pull in yes or no. I can see. So I'm just searching now. I'm filtering out all the kids that I'm not allowed. So here's my list of kids that parents said no. So that for schools will take sometimes a full day, depending on how many kids they have.
I'm like, right. That alone is a selling point, but it's all a really great thing. I certainly hope we're able to afford this somehow, and let's plan to talk on Tuesday. Does that sound good?
Okay, and what I'll do is I'm always able to put forth as you know a nice discount at the very beginning, you know, when a school first sees it. It just shortens our interaction time. It's the most economical for us too. I'm going to send you a quote. I'm going to send you a quote with a discount that will expire on Tuesday. Basically, if you want to, I'll send you a recording. You can go over it. And if you have any other questions, we can go through them on Tuesday, and then you can make your decision. And if you want to go with it that day, I'll offer you a pretty substantial discount. Okay.
Jonah, I'm free on Tuesday either at noon or 2 o'clock, so I'll let you pick either which one and send it to me in the email.
Okay. Thank you for all your time today, and I'll talk to you on Tuesday.
Thank you, Jonah. It was a pleasure talking with you.
All the best.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.